Welcome to Ghostly.
Is there paranormal activity happening at Skinwalker Ranch?
Ghostly is a podcast that comes out every other week. In each episode, we take a ghost story or paranormal event and look into its complete history. Rebecca then gives us evidence proving that the story is real, and my job is to debate those pieces of evidence and get you, the listener, prepared to vote on if it's real or not. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, we're your host. I'm Pat.
And I'm Rebecca.
What's been going on, Rebecca?
Just getting ready for the holiday season.
Yes. And I maybe we should take this time again to remind everyone that there will be no new episodes in December. We will be coming back on January 5th, I believe it is. And that will be the next episode of Ghostly.
Yeah, we're very excited to have a month to kind of just decompress a little bit. But honestly, it's going to still be a busy ghostly month, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because we have C2E2 on December 12th. And then we have Ghostly Presents an Evening with Nightshade, where we are going to be watching some of the Memoriam Development's Nightshade short films. And we are going to be talking with the directors and actors and writers and all that fun stuff over at Ghoulish Mortals, one of our favorite new places to hang out.
Absolutely. And that's December 16th.
Yes. And that's in the evening at 7 o'clock. Yeah,
it's a Thursday night. It's going to be super fun. And the reason that we picked December to do this is because one of our favorite Nightshade films, we're going to announce this year, is The Kringling.
Yeah, The Kringling.
And so it's Christmas-themed horror. It's fantastic.
Well, written by Ghostly's own Nick Mataragas.
Right? Yes. Favorite guest.
Favorite skeptic.
Favorite skeptic, yes.
Yeah. The only other skeptic that's been on Ghostly.
That's true. He's the only one
that we know of.
But it's going to be super fun, and Ghoulish Mortals is an amazing store. And
they're horror themed. So I mean, what could go wrong there?
Everything good. Just everything horror and Christmas all in one. It's going to be super fun. St. Charles, Illinois. So if you are in the Chicagoland area, put it on your calendar as a Christmas event, fun
Christmas
night
miracle.
Out. Christmas miracle, whatever you want to say.
But here's the thing. I mean, I'm a little short on money, so how much does it cost?
It costs nothing.
What?
Yeah, totally free. Free night out.
Can I bring food?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna have some appetizers.
Yeah, we'll try to have a few things there, and you can bring your own stuff and just hang out and watch some short films and hear about from the people that made them, and enjoy.
So Oreo has come out with a Oreo thin cookie with double the stuffing.
Oh.
So it's basically just an Oreo cookie, right? I mean,
I guess. I mean, I suppose that those people that like the stuffing, they probably would like that. I am not that person.
What?
Oreos, so it's been annoying. I've noticed a trend over the last, 10 years or whatever, where almost every Oreo is like a double stuff Oreo. I mean, that's like normal. Now, normal Oreo is like double stuffed Oreo. And I like the stuffing, but I like a ratio.
I could live off the stuffing.
I'm not that person. I like a balance.
Rebecca, I don't know if we can debate this.
Now we're getting into crunchy peanut butter territory.
I can get along with talking about ghosts, and you're a believer and I'm a skeptic, but if you are doubting the stuffing in the Oreos, I don't know if we can.
Maybe we need Katie from Attack of the Snack on.
Yeah, we do.
To help us debate this.
Yeah.
I know she listens. So Katie, if you would like Ghostly on Attack of the Snack to talk about Oreos as a snack, we would love to do that.
Yeah. And speaking of which, actually it has nothing to do with that, but we do have a shout out.
We do have a shout out.
There are two ways to get a shout out on Ghostly. The first way is to give us a review on Apple Podcast. We always prefer those 5-star reviews, but we will read any and all reviews that we receive. And the second way is to either buy us a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/ghostlypodcast, or just do what the cool kids do and go to ghostlypodcast.com and click on the buy us a coffee button.
Yeah. All right. So this episode, we have a review.
Yes.
All right. It says, let's go with 2 exclamation marks. I'm loving the excitement.
Wow.
From Air Force John.
Wow. How many stars is this
5
review?
stars.
5-star. Whoa.
So we appreciate that. Those are always our favorite to read. This is a great concept for a podcast, and it is executed flawlessly.
Ooh, I don't know about flawless.
This seems like, okay. I mean, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is definitely a podcast I wish was every week, but you are both good enough that I forgive you. Ha ha. I'm almost caught up now, and I'm not happy about it. Keep up the great work, and looking forward to the next episode.
Well, coming in January, there may be a way for you to listen to us on a weekly basis.
I mean, we're not going to announce anything yet, but
yeah, we're not announcing anything yet until January.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for more. So slap us with some of that listener mail that you got.
All right. So
spill the tea, Rebecca.
Absolutely. Now, this is interesting. Again, we've got another snail mail. So thank you so much. This is Dennis Dahl. Love him. He's been a frequent, sender of things, and we really appreciate that. And we appreciate the snail mail. He typed this, so thank you. My eyes, thank you for that. So this is a true and accurate accounting of Glen Sloan Cottage.
Ooh.
In 1983, I was stationed on the USS Hunley AS-31, ported in Dunne, Scotland, on the Holy Loch.
Oh, there's just a lot of words there.
There's a lot of words there, and I apologize. I can't do a Scottish accent, but we'll just go with it. I had been aboard ship for 6 months when I had the opportunity to move off ship. Some friends I knew were shipping out and had a cottage that was going to be vacant. It was on an old sheep farm. The lands were rented out, but the cottage was available. The Duke of Argyll was the landlord. Like, when does this take place? Like, this is 83.
Duke of Argyll.
The cottage was made of fieldstone, whitewashed, and looked very cozy, just as you would imagine a Scottish cottage would look like. It was built in 1598. Wow. And the only heat was coal fireplaces in each room. There were 3 bedrooms, 2 upstairs and 1 downstairs. There was a small kitchen, living room, and a bathroom to round out the living space. To access the cottage, you had to drive up, open the gate, drive through, close the gate. You don't want the farmer's sheep to get out. Then drive a quarter mile up the 2-rut driveway to the cottage. It was beautiful and scenic, and most of all, quiet. The perfect getaway from a noisy ship. When the guys were showing us around, they said that there was a ghost in the cottage, but other than making some noise, it seemed harmless. My friends and I thought this was going to be fun. What did we know? 19 years old and away from home for the first time. My 2 roommates were both friends of mine from my division on the ship. I'll call one Ed, not his real name, and Steve, not his real name. We moved in, which did not...
So it's Ted and Beeve.
We moved in, which did not take long, 1 sea bag each. Thankfully, the place came furnished. The cottage didn't have closets, but each bedroom had a huge bureau for hanging clothes. The one in my room was made in 1774. It was older than our country, and they still use it. I don't know why I added that. Hashtag pet facts. I am fascinated by that. I mean, to live in a place that is made in the 1500s, and you're using a piece of furniture from the 1700s. I don't know.
I can't even imagine that.
It's crazy. Ed, my roommate, bought a stereo, and we set that up, and his folks sent over his record collection. Yes, I'm old. Everything was set, and we were going to have a housewarming party that weekend with some people we met at the local pub. The night before the party, we were sitting in the living room, and we could hear people running up on the second floor. All 3 of us were there, so we went up to check it out. No one was upstairs, but all the bedroom doors were open. With the coal heat in the fireplace, it kept the room warmer if you kept your doors shut. We chalked it up to the ghost and closed our doors. We were back downstairs listening to music, George Thorogood, and the footsteps sounded again a short time later. Once again, we went upstairs, and nothing but the bedroom doors were open again. If you've ever lived in a house where carpeting was added later and the bottom of the doors were not trimmed, you would know that the doors do not open easily.
No.
Also, there was fresh coal put in the fireplaces. This is a very helpful ghost.
I know a lot of times in the UK and stuff, they use peat moss.
Oh.
For their fires and stuff,
I don't know. He mentions coal, but yeah.
Wow.
This was in the 80s, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
This became a regular occurrence and we pretty much ignored it. I mean, right? I guess it's opening the doors, but if it's stocking up your fireplace. Skip forward a month. Ed had taken an opportunity to work shore patrol on nights, so we only saw him on weekends. Steve and I were on different duty shifts, so 2 nights out of the 4, he was gone. On those nights, it was just me and the ghost. At first, it was fine. Then some odd things began to happen. I had finished supper and was going to bed, and the front door slammed hard. Ed was working and Steve had duty. We were far enough off the road where it wouldn't be a motorist broke down. I thought it might be the farmer needing something. I went down to the living room and to the kitchen where the door was, and there was nothing there but the faucet was going. I went outside, but no one was there. That had never happened before. Next morning was Saturday. I got up early to stoke all the fireplaces with coal. Before I could do that, there was a knock at the door. It was the farmer. He said that the gate was open and could I go down and shut it. I told him no problem and walked straight off. I didn't want to be responsible for any lost sheep. Neither Ed nor Steve were home yet. I walked down to the gate, closed it, and went back to the cottage to stoke the fires. When I arrived at the cottage, the door was wide open. I went inside and could hear the running steps upstairs. The faucet was on, and there was a dead bird on the counter on top of the kitchen, or countertop of the kitchen.
Yeah.
The stereo was also on, and George Thorogood was on again. The album was not out when I left. Not even on it. Was not even out.
Wow.
Needless to say, I was freaked out. I stoked the fireplaces downstairs and went upstairs. Both doors were open and there was fresh coal in the fireplaces. Okay, this is the handiest ghost. I closed the doors and went downstairs to turn off the music and put away the record. I felt very uncomfortable, so I decided to go for a walk. Understandable. I walked down into town about a mile away and had breakfast and came back. Ed and Steve were there, and Ed asked me why I would leave the stereo on. He said when he came in, George Thorogood was on and the volume was turned up. I told him about my morning, and he said he has had similar experiences during the day. When we went to pay the rent the next week, we asked about the cottage, and we found out back in the early 1700s, the farmer who rented the land had just been notified that he was being kicked out. It was winter and he had no place to take him and his 2 children. Apparently he snapped and took an axe to his wife and then chased the kids upstairs and killed them. When it was found out, he was hung on the property by his wife's family.
Ooh.
After that, we all agreed we were going to move out at the end of the month. Things started getting worse and I left after 2 weeks. Constant banging doors, slamming, and that constant running footsteps. I dreaded going there. After I left, my 2 friends were back on the ship the next week. I took my wife to Scotland 20 years later, and we stopped at the local pub. I was pretty sure I knew how to get there, but I asked directions. We found it after a bit and drove up the drive. There were 2 men in their mid-20s building a house on the property about 400 feet from the cottage. We stopped and talked to them. I asked them why they didn't just use the cottage. They said they would not step foot in there because it was haunted. My wife's jaw dropped. She thought I had made up the story. As a side note, on the same property on a small hill, 9 witches were burned at the stake. This was back in the 1600s. No grass grows on that hill to this day. Well, Pat and Rebecca, I hope you found this interesting. I enjoy your podcast immensely and look forward to each episode. Best regards, Dennis Dahl.
Well, thank you, Dennis. We actually really enjoyed your letter too. So
that was
thank
fantastic.
You for sending that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the little Pat fact in there too. That's awesome.
That was great. Thank you.
Well, you know what? Since it was such a good mail, I don't think we should do the polls this week.
I don't know why you don't want to do the polls. I like, come on.
I have PTSD from the previous polls.
Well, we're getting back into our schedule here. We got an episode. Previous episode we got to check out here.
All right.
All right. So in our last episode, we talked about President Polk.
We did, yes.
We did.
I remember that.
Yes, you remember that? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Yes, 18.2%.
Yeah, 80 what?
And no, 81.8%. You won by a lot.
What? Why? How?
I don't know. The skeptics came out. People
Wow.
believed.
My skeptic bros?
I guess.
Wow. Wow.
What was the overall rating?
The overall rating, it was a 3.
Yeah, the people did not find those stories credible.
Yeah, well, there's no way I'm going to win this one. So
I don't know what's going to... You know what? I think we should put it out here. I don't know what's going to happen with this episode.
I don't know either.
I don't know where either of us is going to land.
I mean, a lot of times we kind of tease that I might walk out of here a believer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this actually, I may, because so the thing that a lot of people don't know is that, yes, I am a skeptic when it comes to ghosts, and Rebecca is a believer. But when it comes to UFOs, I am a big time believer in UFOs, and Rebecca is a hardcore skeptic.
I mean, hardcore might be a bit extreme, but I'm a lot more doubtful about some of this stuff than you are.
How?
So, I mean, do I think there's life out in the universe? Of course, statistically, very, very likely. Do I think that they're coming here and, yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out in this episode.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about. It's.
So I think this may be the biggest episode of Ghostly's history. In our 3-year history, I think this might be the top.
It could be. There's so much going on here.
There is definitely. It is a story that we wouldn't usually cover because it's not just a paranormal story. Skinwalker Ranch has plenty of paranormal, but it also has some ancient legends and some UFO stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things happening.
Tons of stuff there. A good friend of mine and the podcast, Justin, requested this episode a while ago, and I only knew this place for its UFO sightings. I didn't know anything else. But when we looked into it, it's got so much more than just UFO stuff. So much so that we felt that we couldn't just do it ourselves. We couldn't just tackle it alone. We needed to call in an expert for this one.
Definitely.
But we needed an expert that knows about the paranormal and cryptids.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we going to find somebody like that, right?
Oh, well.
So it just so happens that we know of one of these such experts. I at least call him an expert. He never calls himself an expert.
No, but he is.
He is, and he knows everything. We are referring to Jack Chavez. The man truly knows everything about anything.
Well, at least when it comes to paranormal and cryptids. I mean, none of us know everything about everything.
I would trust him to do like trigonometry.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think he knows.
I mean, I don't know that he
everything.
doesn't know how to do trigonometry, but
What are you saying? That he doesn't?
I don't know.
So we called him up and asked him for opinions, and we never expected this interview to be so long. But it was just so fascinating that we couldn't stop talking to him.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Jack. And here's what Jack had to say. All right. Welcome back to Ghostly, Jack Chavez.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
So we have a really big episode here, and this is one of those episodes that we've never done one like this, where it crosses over on all the different forms of paranormal, or I don't even know the word for it, but supernatural maybe.
Yeah, that's maybe a good word.
Yeah, where it's got UFOs, it's got cryptids, it's got everything. It's got paranormal, it's got everything. So we needed you for this episode.
Well, I think the term that you're looking for is high strangeness.
Ooh, high strangeness.
There it is.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a term that was popularized by John A. Keel, who wrote the Mothman Prophecies.
Oh,
Okay.
bye.
Yeah, and what the term means is a phenomenon that's taking place that incorporates various aspects of the paranormal. So, the events that took place in Point Pleasant, West Virginia with the Mothman and UFO sightings and poltergeist activity, that would be considered high strangeness, as well as what took place on the Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay. So are there a lot of cases like this where it incorporates a lot of the different fields?
It's rare.
It's
It's
rare.
really
Okay.
rare. I would say, Point Pleasant and Skinwalker Ranch are the two most famous ones, but you do come across here and there, um, cases like this. There used to be a blogger online. He kind of stopped writing that I was in communication with, and what he talked about is his block, back when he was a child. This was in I believe this was in northwestern Illinois,
Oh,
where he talked about his block experiencing poltergeist activity, UFO sightings, strange shadows in the block, and people, all his neighbors would experience it. But, again, it's a case that never went public. It never became famous.
Interesting. But yeah, it had a lot of this confluence of strangeness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any theories of why there would be so much stuff going on in these particular places?
Uh, you know, it sounds so cliche to say in the paranormal, but really the only thing I could possibly think of is a gateway, a portal, perhaps.
Portal. Okay. Yeah.
And I really don't like using those terms because it does sound so science fiction and a cop out. But I'm not sure. I can't think of anything else really.
Makes
Yeah.
you think of like Stargate or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we have that example in the Skinwalker Ranch where the Gorman family, they would see this orange structure in the sky, and Tom Gorman, the father, he estimated that the structure was a mile away in the sky, and when he was asked to describe it, he said, well, it's hard to describe because it always changes depending on the angle you were looking at. But basically, it would be around during nighttime, and the structure looked like it looked like he was viewing another land, and it was daylight in that land
Wow.
while it was nighttime, on the ranch. But it looked like it was daylight, and he said that him and his family would see blue sky on the other side. And at one point, he said that he was looking at it because it would happen frequently, and he was looking at it, and he saw a some sort of black flying vehicle go through uh, the structure, and then it would exit it and then enter it. So he was convinced that he was probably looking at some parallel reality.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, I know, you know, we've been watching the TV show that's been on about Skinwalker Ranch
Mhm.
on the History Channel, which can be a little bit, but
Yeah.
what interested me about what you said was a mile up,
Yeah.
because they did some research and found like high levels of, they just said to be generic, gamma radiation, and they estimated it to be about a mile up. So that's
Yeah.
kind of
Huh.
interesting that different people at different times have found strangeness
Yeah.
up
Right.
above the ranch.
Oh, that is really interesting.
Yeah, and they also talked about either like portal or like almost like a wormhole
Yeah.
situation.
Well, what was really
Yeah.
interesting to me, though, is that the gamma rays increased the further you got above Earth. So it wasn't coming from the Earth. It was
Yeah,
coming from
Huh.
somewhere
up in the sky.
else. Yeah.
Okay, so are you familiar with Native American culture?
And the
Yeah.
skinwalker concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can
Go
you
ahead, I'm sorry.
can you tell us what you would say a skinwalker is?
Yeah. So a skinwalker it is a powerful witch that's able to transform itself into an animal. Now there's kind of different ideas about how this happens. Some believe that it was a medicine man that became too powerful, and inevitably, when you acquire a certain level of power, you kind of for lack of a better term, turn to the dark side.
Yes.
So,
Yes, get corrupted, right?
You sure
yes.
this isn't Skywalker
Ranch? Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, it's prominent in many Native American peoples, the idea of the skinwalker. But there's also, it's important to note that it's also believed that a powerful witch is not necessarily malevolence. There are, good medicine men that are able to, transform into birds and such. But the idea that we have of the skinwalker being malevolent, I don't want to make it seem like it is a modern belief, because it really isn't. Because many Native American peoples do have a belief that the skinwalker is malevolence. I just want to say that, yeah, there are powerful medicine men that could also transform. But yeah, the skinwalker, the Ute people that lived near the Gorman Ranch, they did believe that a skinwalker has been in the area for generations. And when you combine the skinwalker sightings or skinwalker beliefs in that area with the other phenomena, it kind of makes you think that when you reach that level of power as a medicine man, you're able to transform. Do you also attract other phenomena?
Sure.
Whatever UFOs are you attracting them as well? What if UFOs are not just nuts and bolts machines? What if they are, these energy plasmas, like many believe, like Jacques Vallée, the scientist who worked for NASA and studied UFOs. By the way, he's going to be in the next episode of Coast to Coast on Sunday.
Oh,
wow.
Ooh, all right.
Love Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, Jacques
That's a good one to check out for sure.
Thinks that they are some sort of, psionic power, that there's some sort of plasmic energy. So, do skinwalkers attract these things? Are they able to open, not just transform themselves, but open doorways to other realities, and not close them? And is that why poltergeist activity happens as well?
Yeah, because I will say I was surprised to read about people hearing footsteps.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Kind of having that feeling of being watched, and some of those kind of poltergeisty things that, could be, again, kind of weird energy can make people feel that way. It doesn't always have to be like a ghost.
Right.
It's not a ghostly explanation. Sorry, I like to.
I'm just glad that there's no women in white in this story.
Not that I have heard about. Yeah, no, but but you know what I mean? Like, I think that is kind of interesting that there's that is such an interesting idea to think of UFOs as like an energy source,
right?
Or generating thing, as opposed to like a physical, like made of metal, like you said, nuts and bolts object.
Yeah,
that is yeah, okay.
Wait, well, go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
It's one of those things that you really it's hard to know, right? Because UFOs have been known to transform. They've been known to grow in size, but also there's witnesses that have seen them land and have been able to touch them and say that they feel metallic.
Yeah,
so it's like,
that's true.
What if it's some sort of metallic technology that's able to, bend and morph? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I've been thinking about recently, and I am a UFO believer, unlike Rebecca, she's the skeptic.
I am a bit more skeptical. That's why I'm like, okay, like I could maybe buy like a energy source or something.
Yeah, but so I am more of a believer. But what I noticed is, as the years have gone by, our vision of what these UFOs look like have definitely expanded. So, like back in the 70s, they looked like something out of the 70s. and out of the 80s.
Right.
They look like something out of the 80s. It's like as time goes by, it's more just like what we would interpret it as.
Right. Yeah. The psychologist Carl Jung,
Yeah.
he talks about this. He talks about how it seems like UFOs change depending on perspective. It changes from time period to time period, from culture to culture. It's he also believed that UFOs are a combination of, our own psychic stimuli combined with external forces, and that creates a mandala, that creates an archetype, and that archetype is what we see as a UFO.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, to take it back to Skinwalker, so these Skinwalkers, so they are these, so they're like medicine men or shaman, right? That have reached this level where they can, body morph into other things. But wouldn't they still be confined to what our average lifespan is? So, I mean, like, the Skinwalker thing, the legend started, hundreds of years ago. And they're still there? How is that possible?
Well, the way I see it is, if they're able to morph into other beings, maybe they're able to, keep the same age, or maybe be immortal.
Ooh.
So, I mean, if they're able to, transcend the laws of physics by transforming, then maybe, they don't have to age.
Wow. So the wolf that they have out there, the dire wolf that sometimes appears, could actually be the same Skinwalker that was there hundreds of years ago when the curse was first put on.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it could be passed on. I mean, obviously we don't know, but you would think we would.
Oh, like inherited?
Yeah, I don't know, but that doesn't seem as likely to me. It seems if such a thing is there, it seems.
Wow.
I'm definitely open to that possibility. I mean,
right.
That Rebecca, that is something I definitely thought about too. Like, is this passed along? Do they need an apprentice?
Yeah.
I'm also thinking that, once you acquire that level of power, maybe you shut off your mortal coil, and you are already an energy being.
Interesting.
Therefore immortal.
Interesting.
I never thought of it that way. So do you buy into the portal idea then, that this could possibly be one of those kind of portals then?
Yeah, I do think so. I do think that there's some sort of gateway taking place.
Yeah.
I like the word gateway. Yeah.
Yeah. To what we don't know.
Right. And what exactly it does, we don't know. But
can it be like another dimension, or are we talking like another planet or another time?
And that's what Tom Gorman, the father, that's what he was speculating too. He, when he was interviewed by Colm Keller, who wrote Hunt for the Skinwalker, Skinwalker Ranch. He was speculating that, he goes, okay, I'm a practical man, but I can't dismiss the fact that something supernatural is taking place. I can't dismiss the fact that this orange door, or this orange structure, is leading to another land. And he was thinking, but he said that he wasn't sure if it was another time period, if it was a parallel universe, another dimension, another. So it's one of those things you don't know, but it's definitely something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the most interesting story that you've heard about the ranch, or something that kind of grabbed your attention while you've been reading about it?
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's like no harm was coming to the family.
Mm-hmm.
The animals would die or they would disappear, but it wasn't attacking the family, like not attacking them physically. Like, for example, the wolf didn't attack the family. It actually walked around them They reached out, they touched it, and then all of a sudden the wolf ran toward the animal. I forgot what kind of animal. I think it was a sheep, and it put its jaws into the animal. And then their cattle was disappearing, or they would turn up mutilated. So, whatever the phenomena wasn't hurting the people.
Just the animals.
Yeah, which that is interesting because that kind of, I don't know, talks about, I guess it kind of goes with the concept that this is somebody that was human or like has human qualities to them where they somehow recognize that, or, you know what I mean, that has some intelligence, I guess we'll say. It's not just beast, I suppose would be what that might suggest.
And if I could quickly bring it back, just to give an example, quickly bring it back to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. There weren't people that were harmed, but for example, one of the witnesses, his puppy went missing during the night. So again, it's animals will be harmed or disappear, but not the humans.
Interesting.
So, that is interesting. Well, there is so in the history of this land now, like the documentaries, and I'm sure the book, and I'm sure the History Channel show, they make it seem like there's always been paranormal activity there. But what I'm like discovering is it really starts with the Shermans. When the Shermans owned the property is when things really started happening. And the previous owner, which I'm going to talk about in the history part, previous owner like lived there for 60 years and nothing seemed to happen. So what my theory is that the Shermans kind of made this up and then sold it to the Bigelows, which, they wouldn't have bought it had it not had paranormal activity. But this land is surrounded by tribal land. In fact, there's nothing but tribal land around there. This is the only land there owned by like a white person. And then along comes Brandon Fugel, which is he is a real estate mogul that sells those kind of things. And the Bigelows sold it to him, even though he was a skeptic and is no longer a skeptic because of the land. But I mean, it's just that to me, it's like, did the Shermans make it up just so that they could sell the property to the Bigelows and make a profit on it? And the Bigelows made a profit with Brandon because he's a real estate agent. So is this just money?
So I don't. So the thing is, Colm Kellner, he, the author of the book, he spoke to people from the Native American reservation. Yeah. And they said that for centuries, Native Americans wouldn't, go close to the land.
But it wasn't documented until George Knapp, started to get involved with it. And that was, I believe that was during the Bigelows. He might have done some stuff with the Shermans, but I know that was, the Bigelows was his major thing.
But wasn't it until Colm Kellner wrote it that it didn't become a thing, or did George Knapp knew about it beforehand?
Yeah, right. That's the question. Is it the chicken or the egg?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I certainly don't want to believe that it's all made up, but I don't know.
Well, I guess I've seen enough. There is enough proof that there are things that happen there, and I mean, it may have been whoever interviewed the tribes around there was maybe the first time anyone had bothered to ask them about the ranch, and then they're like, oh yeah, we don't go on that land, like there's stuff on that land, like why would they wouldn't do that for the owner, like, oh, so the owner can make more money, we'll agree to those stories. Like, no, I'm sure those are the stories that have been passed down in the tribe. Native
American culture is based upon a lot of these things where it's like, they see things, they hear things all over the place.
Well, so is ours. I mean, we that's the church and,
Oh,
all the
absolutely.
things, we all talk about the things we believe, right? And our way of explaining the world.
But
right?
I mean, you're talking to people that this is their being. This is part of their culture. So of course they're going to be like, yeah, we've been seeing stuff there for years,
Yeah. Well, and I think that, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, so when we say like there hasn't been things happening there, what I'm saying is this is for them. Yes, they have seen things and things have happened there. So, I think maybe what has changed too is having people on the ranch that are maybe more active, maybe are disturbing things a bit more. Or who knows what changed over time too. But
it's interesting to note that and I haven't seen the series intentionally, to be honest, because I just I'm sure some of it is overproduced and
very much.
I get a little tired of paranormal series, so I don't really watch them. But when you look into it, I don't know if it mentions this in the series, but the SAIC, the Science Application International Corporation, is connected to experiments on Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was because of the Bigelows too. Is because they So the one thing that I will say is the Bigelows were all about the science too. They wanted scientific fact that proved these kind of things, which, I mean, if there was scientific fact that they found and that they didn't release, I mean, that would have made the news. I mean, this would have been like factual and not just a debate then. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, it's always interesting with these kind of cases. I mean, I'm not totally in disbelief yet. As I said, I have trouble with the UFO part of it because I'm like, so in the series, there is this one particular cattle that gets, this cow that gets killed. And when they're reviewing the film, it just so happens that there is a UFO that's present when this thing like is near death, and it stands up, and like wants to get away from it, and was definitely like fearful of this UFO. And I can't argue stuff like that. I mean, it's unless you're there, you can't.
Wait, they had footage of this?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why there's footage. There is absolutely on the their instruments. You definitely get levels of things. One thing I want to ask you about, Jack, what do you know about radiation at the ranch? Because they did talk about how there had been obviously experiments, nuclear, experiments not too far from the area. It didn't seem like it was
about
right
300
there.
miles away.
Yeah. I mean, but things travel, whatever. But they certainly would register some radiation every so often. So I don't know if you had heard anything about that.
So in the book, it mentions how Dr. Jacques Vallée, the UFO researcher, he did experiments. I shouldn't say research, and a lot of UFO cases, when it was a close contact, the people were sick, and they were found to have radiation on them. No one on the ranch experienced that, but it goes into kind of detail about how people have died. People have died from close encounters with UFOs from sickness, and it looks like it was from radiation poisoning. Now, when people go on the Skinwalker Ranch, they do experience dizziness, shortness of breath, panic attacks, and these are also symptoms associated with radiation poisoning. So the author kind of goes into like, is there a connection there? So there's definitely like some weird overlap between the paranormal and radiation. There was a blogger that I used to follow, and he talks about how it seems like when radiation is around, he doesn't actually even talk about UFOs. He says when radiation is around, there seems to be more ghostly activity.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and the science is a little bit above me, to be honest. But
Nothing's above you, Jack.
oh, you'd be surprised. But yeah, that's something that I do want to look further into.
Well, and you wonder too what comes first, you know.
Yeah. Again, the chicken or the egg. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, and that's what I was. That's what I was kind of getting at with the Science Application International Corporation and also the Department of Defense, being involved with the Skinwalker Ranch. Is it, what is the chicken and the egg, So
yeah.
Are they behind some of the phenomena that's taking place there? Are they manipulating it? I once read, this was online, I once read somebody posted, it seems like the Department of Defense is weaponizing the paranormal, and they're doing it from the Skinwalker Ranch.
I'm sure they would love to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. So, it's really fascinating, like who got there before? Was it, some rogue faction of the government, or was the phenomena already there? And now they're trying to manipulate it, or it's what the heck is going on?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I have one last thing. So, in this series and in the documentary, and I'm sure in the book, digging is a big deal. It's a huge deal. Like, you're not supposed to dig on Skinwalker Ranch, and that people that have dug on Skinwalker Ranch get mysteriously ill. Like, this one guy had this brain thing going on where his head swelled up. So what do you think that could be? If you think the portal is down below then, because it's supposed to be a mile up, right?
Yeah, it could be, but is it possible that they're being poisoned? Like, it's when you're digging, there's some gaseous thing come up. So could it be radiation? It comes up and it causes them to be sick.
Well, I do think so. I just was thinking, my connection I made was, so if we're talking about the Department of Defense, so, I go a little less extreme with some of this, but it's could I imagine that they develop some weird weapon or version of something that they're like, oh, this is bad. We this doesn't work. We're just going to bury it in this ranch area and just tell everybody, you know what, just don't dig. Bad things happen to people that dig, so that no one digs find it.
I mean, they're notorious for doing stuff like that. And that would make sense, because my theory is that something is under the earth, and I have no facts to back this up, so this is just me going, I think maybe a UFO crashed and it was buried underneath the ground in this tribal land where Native Americans respect the land. They're not going to dig it up or anything like that to find this thing. So everybody's got it made, and then the UFOs come because they're checking on it, especially when new people come on the property. Supposedly, that is a big thing. When new people come on the property is when there's more activity.
Yeah, that's some. I was going to say something similar.
Yeah.
About the crashed UFO. I mean, it sounds silly, but is that a possibility? And if UFOs aren't just nuts and bolts, and they are these energy sources, then what if they're emitting something?
And there's your gateway then too,
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I know there was one thing too where it was it was almost like they got a blast of radiation, and then when they went back to check to see oh wow, is this radioactive? Do we need to do something in this area? They couldn't find anything. So it was just a really one-time thing. I mean, his stuff he was wearing a counter or whatever, and it did register. It wasn't he just I think I got radiation. No, he did. So, it was documented. But of course, what's the source of that? But it was just really weird to just that doesn't usually just happen in one burst and then it's gone. That's not normally how radiation works. So that seems different.
what I like about the Skinwalker Ranch story is that, especially with the Gormans, this was not that long ago. It was in the mid-90s. And a lot of times when you hear about this phenomenon, it's always like so many decades ago. And, but this happened in it all accumulated in 1994
Yeah.
when the Gormans finally left, 94, 95, something like that. And, it's I don't want to say fresh, but it's not that long ago.
No.
And it's really interesting to hear or read, what they experienced and what it would have been like, because well, vaguely, but I remember what I was kind of doing during that time. And you got to think that these people were experiencing cattle mutilations. Tom and his son Tad, they went down a canal at one point, and they came across their first cattle mutilation, which their cow had a perfect incision in it. It was in the rear end of the cow, and it was a perfect incision with the insides taken out and no blood loss. Tom talks about how he would go out on his porch of his home, and during the night, and he would just see shadows going by in the distance, as if like creatures or people were walking through the trees. So it's all this weird, crazy phenomena, and it wasn't that long ago. It's amazing.
And still going on. People are still finding things, still recording things, allegedly. And I also feel like there is just something with the land itself. Like they talk about things glowing like at night.
Right.
And to me that almost seems like it's just some sort of natural phenomenon that happens there. But again, maybe it's mixing with, it's like something that you would find anywhere, but then when you mix it with the weird energy, the gamma, the whatever, it like glows. I don't know. It's weird.
That's an interesting point that you said right now about the glowing, because recently I was looking into how there's been like, laboratory experiments involving lights, and like if, one green light, one red light, and they would go off at different times. And what that's supposed to do is induce hypnotism. Now, I was reading about this, and I'm kind of connecting it to the UFO phenomena. Think about how UFOs are able to change colors, from blue, from yellow, from red. What if it's some sort of hypnotic reasoning for changing colors, and people who are witnessing this are being hypnotized? Perhaps that's why when they're allegedly abducted and returned, they don't remember because they're hypnotized.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then, glowing objects taking place. Even right here in the Chicagoland area, we have the maple lights phenomena, where lights appear behind the trees by Archer Woods.
Oh, yeah, Maple Lake, yeah.
Yeah, Maple Lake, yeah.
Yeah.
And, what if, are these things, are they UFOs that are changing colors? Are they inducing hypnotism,
I hadn't thought about that.
Well, the one thing that, we definitely can't debate is that this has been one of the most highly studied areas in the world for paranormal activity.
Right.
So it's very interesting. But Jack, I want to thank you so much for coming on and giving us your opinion and throwing some facts down. Definitely.
Any last words on Skinwalker, and then definitely let us know what you got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I think it's important for everyone to kind of keep your ear out for Skinwalker, because they're always coming out with something new. That's why I'm so skeptical about the series. But if you look online and stuff, there is a website, skinwalkerranch.com, and they're usually pretty good about updating information and news about what's going on at the ranch. So
awesome.
I hope to sometime soon make it out there myself. I don't know how close I'll be able to get, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think they it seems like they have a lot of security, because I'm guessing a lot of people want to get on that ranch.
Yeah, there's a guy named Dragon out there that does security.
Oh, yes. Really?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's mean.
He doesn't like the digging.
No, he hates digging.
Really, really hates the digging.
Oh, wow.
So what's going on in your world, Jack?
Yeah, you keep posting events. I see them.
Yeah, so I have a ghost investigation coming up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Brunder Mansion. It's the Brunder Mansion Bed and Breakfast. So I'm looking for people that want to go there. It's $45 a person. Okay. It was a former mob owned or mob connected owned, I should say.
Wow.
The Pick brothers owned it, and it was a brothel. It was a entertainment venue. So they have a small ballroom in the basements. And what else am I doing?
Were some people whacked there?
Oh yeah, it's believed. Yeah, of course. And I do have a paranormal meetup next Wednesday, so that's December 24th.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, December 24th or November?
Oh,
November.
I'm sorry. November.
You may have said November, but my brain heard that because I'm excited. Right. But yeah, so November 24th. Awesome. I'm sorry. Where's the meetup?
It's at Chet's Melody Lounge.
We cannot encourage people more to go to Chet's.
Yeah.
It's such a fun place, and the owner
is Steve, right? Or
Rich.
Rich. Yeah, he was so great to us when we went there. Both times we've been there. So what a great place.
The guy was sick and dying, and we still got in to give us
he had the worst cold ever at the time.
Rich is a great guy. His wife is cool. The bartenders are cool. Mm-hmm. It's just and it's allegedly haunted too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we saw the basement. It's freaky.
You ever spend time in their basement?
Yeah, I did go in the basement. He let me go down there.
Yeah. It's great.
Somebody saw. I talked to one of the bartenders, and she said that she went to the bathroom, and next to her she saw a pair of feet, like shoes, and she thought somebody was there. But when she left the stall, there was nobody there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Wow.
Creepy. Oh, well, those all sound like fun things. And, people can they follow you on Facebook? Is that probably the best place to hear about what you're doing, or Instagram? Or what's the best place?
You could find me on Facebook, Jack Chavez. I'm running a paranormal group on Facebook called Paranormal Chicago. You could also find me on Instagram at Jack Chavez or paranormal.chicago.
Nice.
And then I also have a website, parachicago.com, which is under construction, but I'm getting there.
That's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
So,
let us know how we can help with that.
Well, thank you so much, Jack. We really appreciate you coming on. You definitely gave us something to think about here.
Yeah, definitely. Helped us bring it all together. I appreciate it.
All right.
Awesome.
I don't even know what to say about that interview. I mean, I love talking to Jack. Jack knows everything, as I said. I mean, we did not prep him for any part of this interview prior to the interview.
I mean, he knew the topic, but he didn't have our list of questions or anything like that.
Yeah, but he knew the topic like last week. He couldn't have read the book in that short a time and know all that information and memorize all these names and places and...
Yeah. No, he definitely just had that in his head for sure.
My God, Jack. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm ready for a ghost story.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's time for a spooky tale from our bad girl.
There were a lot of ways this ghost story could go, and it was difficult because as we just talked about with Jack, there's so much happening. But anyways, this is something that struck me. So here we go. I want to write this down before I forget what I saw. I have been staying on Skinwalker Ranch at the invitation of the owner. I was nervous to be here, but I just couldn't say no to the opportunity to experience this place that is so steeped in paranormal activity. The Ute Basin is known for UFO and other strange sightings. This is my second night here, and I'm trying to get my bearings. I'm staying in a camping trailer, and it's so beautiful here and peaceful. At least it seemed like that my first night here. Though most of the others here are excited, energized. They are ready to just dive in and learn more. I am too, but I like to settle into a place before I just go into research. After dinner, I decided to sit by myself outside of my trailer and stargaze. It's such open land here with the beautiful mesa to look at in the distance. All was well, and I was thanking my lucky stars to be in this place, when all of a sudden, I saw something I can't explain. The mesa seemed to light up, to glow. Not all of it, just the top half, down near the end where I am staying. I thought, okay, maybe it's a reflection of the moon? I couldn't think of what it could be. I got up and I walked west to see if it would change, and it didn't. It stayed as bright as before. It was beautiful, but I've never seen anything like it before. It was almost like a bioluminescence or something, but they're like not quite that neon. Then I saw something that I still can't believe. Something even stranger than the glowing mesa. A blue ball of light started to appear south of the mesa and fly towards it. Sort of slow and like it was looking. I know that sounds impossible, but that's just what it looked like to me. It wasn't just moving in a motion like it was flying straight. It was, I was hovering. But it was also moving forward, and it did eventually go behind the mesa. It was the most profound thing I have ever experienced. It felt like I was a part of something that I didn't understand. I'm writing this down because I don't want to ever forget this feeling. And if this is how the ranch greets its visitors, I'm excited to see what else it has in store. Maybe now I understand why the others feel the way they do. There is an energy here.
Wow. So how much of that is based upon real hardcore facts?
The stuff about the mesa glowing and seeing, a light that kind of comes and goes behind it, that's definitely something that has been reported.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not quite as dramatic as is in the story, but yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a break, and when we return, we will go over the history.
Pat, what do creepy stories, funny ghost memes, and inside ghostly information have in common?
My life.
Well, yes, but no, it's also Ghostly Society on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that too, of course. But aren't all ghostly listeners in Ghostly Society?
Not yet.
What? I mean, that means that they're missing out on all my jokes.
Yeah, they are. And missing out on chatting and sharing with other listeners and us, of course.
We love talking to our listeners. If you haven't yet, you should consider joining our private group on Facebook called Ghostly Society.
Let's hope now they will.
Unless they're a woman in white.
Uh-oh.
Pat's facts from a skeptic point of view. Pat's facts. He presents it all to you. Pat's facts.
All right, we're back. So, just like a lot of these ghostly episodes, the history is really hard to track down. I mean, this one was a little bit harder than most. So, now, when doing the history, I usually look for at least 2 different sources that can verify the information. That is something that I do because, I don't want to give you dubious information.
Yeah.
That's just not me. And with a lot of the history that predates the 19th century, I couldn't find it. I mean, seriously, like I heard about it when we were watching the show, The Secrets of the Skinwalker Ranch on the History Channel. We watched the first season of that. And I watched the documentary, The Hunt for Skywalker, I believe it was.
Okay.
Or Skinwalker.
I was going to say,
yeah.
ding, ding, ding. We knew that, well, we talked about this with Jack, I don't know if we did it on the recording, but we're going to call it Skywalker Ranch. It's going to happen. We're both big Star Wars nerds, so we're going to try not to.
So Skinwalker Ranch. But none of those things I could really verify. So I don't know. I mean, I want to believe some of the stuff, but I don't necessarily want to put it out there. So I'm just saying, I will give a little bit of that, but I'm going to stick mostly to the facts here.
Okay. Hashtag Pat Facts are Pat Facts, not tales from what people say.
Yeah. I mean, I found some urban legends about it, but there's no documented dates or times, and no two stories could be verified in any way.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, I thought we would go over the owners of Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay.
So in 1905, Monk Chavanaugh bought Skinwalker Ranch and kept it for around 11 years. And in 1916, he sold it to Henry Liddister. Henry Liddister kept it for 29 years. That's a pretty long time.
It is.
And eventually, in 1945-ish, sold it to Kenneth and Edith Myers. Now, there's some overlap you might notice in this little chart here.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And a lot of times when the people would sell it, they would still live there for a little bit.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They just kind of rent it back or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kenneth and Edith Myers owned this property for the longest amount of time, 60 years to be exact. And in 1994-ish, they sold it to Benton Lockheed. And Benton Lockheed had it for like 14 years and then sold it to the Shermans, Terry and Gwen Sherman. And they only owned it for like 2 years. And then they sold it to Robert Bigelow, millionaire. And Robert Bigelow sold it to Brandon Fugel. I just wanted to cover that. We're going to talk about some of these people a little bit later.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's good to hear. It has changed hands over time. And it's been, I think, it's one of those places that there's so much going on in that area, but the ranch itself definitely has evolved. I'm sure you'll tell us, about that. But
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's dubbed from the Skinwalker, which is a Navajo term. As Jack was telling us, it's a legendary shape-shifting shaman. That's fun to say. Shape-shifting shaman of the Navajo myth. The legend says that when the settlers arrived and kicked the Navajo off the land, they cursed it with them. And the Skinwalkers are known for many shapes, notably the direwolves.
Oh, you like direwolves from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So UFO reports date back to the time of the indigenous people. I mean, it's going backwards in time and asking people then. There's not much documentation of these things.
Mm-hmm.
They were publicized in the early 70s when investigative journalist George Knapp took interest in them. So the area got so well known that the author Colm Keller wrote a book about it. In it, they described the ranch being home to Bigfoot-like creatures, crop circles, UFOs, floating orbs, and poltergeist.
Again, it has everything.
Right? It's got everything a girl could want, right? The ranch is located in the northwest part of Utah called the Uniton County. It is surrounded on all four sides by the Ute Indian reservations. It is 512 acres of land and has 3 areas of buildings in various stages. Like some of them, like, the housing complex 2 is like mostly, in ruins kind of state.
Yeah, all those people you talked about, at various points lived in various buildings around the property.
Sure. In 2005, Colm Keller and co-author George Knapp published a book in which they described the ranch being acquired by the National Institute for Discovery Science to study anecdotal sightings of UFOs, Bigfoot-like creatures, crop circles, glowing orbs, and poltergeist activity reported by its former owners. Now, let's talk about some of these former owners, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start with the Shermans. The Shermans owned Skinwalker Ranch for 2 to 3 years, from 1994 until 1996. They bought it from Kenneth and Edith Myers, who had owned it 60 years previously. The Shermans really let the ranch get famous. They gave it the alternate name, the Sherman Ranch. They sold, because of course, you're going to name it after yourself, right?
Well, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, but it's not the Myers Ranch. They lived there for 60 years.
Well, and I did read that the Myers were the ones, I believe, that ended up really buying like more of the property that made it the size that it is.
Yeah, it was 480 acres, and then they bought the rest.
Yeah.
Which is hard because it was Ute Indian reservation land.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it definitely was, the a lot of government involvement, different things going on. Yeah.
But I mean, seriously, they're the only white people in the immediate area there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And Edith, she stayed there until she got taken to, she had to move to a home.
Wow.
Yeah. So they really love the land.
Absolutely. So while they were there, the land got pretty famous. It became what we know because the books were published and everything like that. And stories started to get publicized more and more. And they sold the ranch to mogul Robert Bigelow in 1996 when they were fed up with it.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. So now let's talk about Robert Thomas Bigelow. So he was born in 1945, May 12th. He's an American businessman. He owns the hotel chain Budget Suites of America. You've heard of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever stayed at a Budget Suite?
No.
I think I did once. And he's the founder of Bigelow Aerospace.
Okay. I
mean, good thing he founded it because it has his name.
Yes, it's very handy that way.
It would have been really difficult had he not founded it. Bigelow has used his wealth to provide financial support for investigations of UFOs and parapsychology.
Yeah, he's a big name in the world of UFOs.
Yeah, including the continuation of consciousness after death. That's a big thing for him.
Yes.
In 2011, Forbes estimated his net worth to be $700 million.
Wow.
Yeah. In 1995, Bigelow founded the National Institute for Discovery Science, as we had mentioned just a little bit before, to research and advance studies of various fringe sciences and paranormal topics, and most notably, ufology.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy. Like, if you're into UFO stuff, you know Bigelow.
Yeah, he provided a lot of money for it. The organization researched cattle mutilation, which is actually a bigger problem than most people ever really think of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of cattle gets mutilated and they have no idea why.
Yep.
Not just, in Skinwalker.
No. Like, it's like a lot of the things that we talk about happen on Skinwalker Ranch, but they're also reported all around it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, Black Triangle reports.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's like portal stuff, I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ultimately attributing the latter to the military.
Okay. Interesting.
The Institute was disbanded in 2004. I always hate it when things get disbanded like that, right? Like the Beatles got disbanded, right?
Yeah.
Or they disbanded themselves.
That's what they did, yeah.
Because they were a band and they disbanded.
Yes.
Yeah. In 1996, Bigelow purchased Skinwalker Ranch. At the time, it was a 480 acres. So maybe it was Bigelow that added on to that.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
cattle ranch located in Utah that some believe is the site of an interdimensional doorway used by alien shapeshifters.
I mean, that came up with Jack, right?
Yeah, right?
Like that's a possibility.
Well, I don't know if he went into the aliens could be the shapeshifters.
No, I don't think we talked about that.
So in December 2017, Bigelow was reported by the New York Times to have urged Senator Harry Reid to initiate what became the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. It's a government study which operated from 2007 to 2012, and it was tasked with the study of UFOs. According to the New York Times, Bigelow said that he was absolutely convinced that aliens exist and have visited Earth. In June 2020, Bigelow founded the Bigelow Institute for Consciousness Studies. Again, good thing he did because it shares his name.
Yep.
It was to support investigations into life after death. And in January 2021, so very recently, he put up an award of $1 million for anyone who could demonstrate the existence of life after death.
Wow.
So, yeah, we got to get on that with Ghostly.
Yeah.
We got to prove it, Rebecca.
Well, he's interesting. I actually watched an interview with Bigelow talking about his time on Skinwalker Ranch. And I guess I'll just say it was interesting to hear the way he talked about the ranch because, for him, it was, seeing some of these phenomena and, recording them and studying them with scientists and all of that. But for him personally, it was like he wanted more cohesiveness to it. Like he was frustrated. He's like, I feel like the ranch is trying to talk to us and we don't know what it's saying. And like it just, he wanted it to kind of be clearer in its communication, I guess. And
like
that frustrated him.
Space Oddity.
Yeah, like he wanted words, or something that we could understand.
Or at least them to play musical tones,
something
where they could then translate that.
Yes, exactly. A language, I guess, is what I mean to say instead of words. And in the end, he just got frustrated because that wasn't happening. Yeah. And he kept saying like, man, maybe we didn't give it enough time. Maybe we did but he just got frustrated that it wouldn't. It wasn't clearer.
Yeah.
But just I hadn't thought about it that way. About like, hey, yeah, the ranch is probably trying to tell us something, and we can't understand it. Sure. I wish it would just be clearer. Well,
that brings us to its current owner. Until the History Channel show that started, and it's the secrets of the Skinwalker Ranch. His identity was shrouded in secrecy.
Mystery.
Yeah, in mysterious secrecy. He even appeared in a documentary that was also about Skinwalker Ranch where they hid his identity.
He wasn't ready.
No, he was not ready. And I've watched a whole interview about that too. Mm-hmm. His name is Brandon Fugel, and he kind of gives off a Bond villain kind of appearance.
He seems like a very nice man, yeah. But he definitely has the suit, I'm so rich you can't even handle me.
Flies everywhere in a helicopter.
Right. In his Porsche, Porsche.
Yeah. He's a Bond villain.
But I think he's on the side of good. At least I hope so.
Hopefully he uses his powers for
there
good
you
and
go.
not evil.
Yes.
Yeah. He is a real estate mogul that claimed to be a skeptic before an event on the ranch made him a believer, where he actually believes that he saw a UFO. It was like the cigar-shaped UFO kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he believes he saw it. Now, if you watch the History Channel show, like Rebecca and I did, mm-hmm. we were tasked with this. First of all, two things, right? You can't dig on there.
There is no digging
you
allowed.
You cannot dig on the ranch.
If you even mention the word digging, you are in for a 20-minute conversation
where they show you magnets.
They show you magnets, and they go, exactly. This is why. And you're like, I don't understand.
And who is the man that hates the digging the most, Rebecca?
That would be the security guard. The head security guard, Dragon,
yes. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. One of the fan favorites of the show is a man that goes by Dragon or Flaming Dragon. He is the security chief of the Skinwalker Ranch. He met Brandon in August of 1992 when they both served as missionaries in Hawaii. Seems kind of convenient to serve
that's
in
a nice
Hawaii,
location.
Right? For the Church of Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints.
The Mormons.
Yeah, the Mormons, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He got his name during military operations when he was dropping napalm on people, but the napalm was mixed with something else, so it was sticky. I'm not going to say what it is because it's really gross.
I'm very confused by this whole story, but
yeah, he was dropping napalm, and that gives off like fire. That's fire.
I see.
And, there's several flames, so he got the name Flaming Dragon.
I see.
And he is referred to on the show as Dragon.
He is.
And he carries a shotgun wherever he goes.
Yeah, there's definitely a group of security. Like, don't think you can just go visit the ranch.
No, you can
definitely. It
definitely
is not a destination.
By the way, there's only one road into it.
Yeah, you're not going to get on.
Like, I thought for a second in one of the episodes, they closed this other gate. And I'm like, that gate looked really easy to get in. I could probably sneak in. But the problem is getting to that gate.
Right. That's like probably something inside the ranch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's only one real road up. So unless you're going to walk, 10s or 20 miles or something like that, you're not making it on there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's about all that I have for the history of Skinwalker Ranch. Sorry, I wish there was more, as there is a lot of presumed history, but I don't want to give misinformation. So
absolutely. And I think, we'll get into the stories of it. And I think that's a big part of it. I would like to just say that it's definitely an interesting place. And as I mentioned just earlier, to keep in mind that it is a part of the land around it too. But it is this weird space that's been carved out and had a lot of different people and animals and things brought to it that maybe it wasn't used to. So It's interesting.
It is actually, if you went to Google Earth and you looked at the Ute Basin and you wanted to put a pin in the middle of that, it is exactly in the middle of the Ute Basin.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, which it looks very beautiful out there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Very, very cowboyish.
If you want to think the West, this is the West for sure.
Even though it's Utah, and I don't really think Utah is out there so far west. I think more Nevada, California.
Oh, I think of Utah as west, but
it looks like a place that you could have some cowboy stew. And,
yeah, definitely.
I did watch something where they had a fire out there, like a bonfire and stuff, and man, that just looked so cool. I would love to camp there.
Yeah, but remember, only if you're invited.
Yeah,
so otherwise Dragon's gonna get you.
Would you camp there if Dragon allowed you to?
I would.
You would. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you heard it from Rebecca. She's not really that scared of the place.
I mean, I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
I would dig.
You would dig? No, you can't dig there. That digging is not allowed by anybody.
Again, we only watched the first season and we haven't seen the second, but if you've watched the first season, these are very funny jokes to you.
Yeah, because they fight for 20 minutes in the first episode about digging on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a fun show. I highly recommend it. Absolutely, and stuff happens. Absolutely, let me
tell you one of my problems with the show, though.
Okay.
So they went through all of this, and never did they find any solid scientific proof of anything. They never found any reason for anything that wasn't I don't know, it could be paranormal. Every single thing that they investigated was never had any answers. And I was expecting at least one thing.
I feel like there was one. I know we kind of we both saw this episode and saw it kind of differently. There was one episode where in one of the houses they were claiming to have some kind of paranormal things where they would feel like they were being watched. They would hear weird noises. And then they ended up finding admittedly weird empty room in the basement. But the one scientist that they brought on there theorized that actually that room was serving almost like a bass drum, like something that was echoing things back. And he kind of, I think, solved some of the paranormal stuff in that
But
house.
they never said that like solved it or anything to them. You know,
well,
and that,
I don't know that it's going to get rid
bothered
of
me.
it.
No, but that bothered me, though, is that there was nothing ever really like, oh, okay, well, we figured this thing out and we're not going to worry about this. We're going to focus on this. It was all like, no, these are new things and never anything. And it's like, in these kind of cases, most of the time you can find scientific proof for one of the things at least, even in a weird place like this.
I don't know, a lot going on.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we return, we will get to the debate.
Sounds good. Hey, listeners, did you know there's a way to share with the world whether you're hashtag team believer or hashtag team skeptic? Or, for those who need it, hashtag team the middle? It's our store called Ghostly Gear.
Yep, and we even have custom ghostly designs like microclimate or even the Easter Island Massacre or of the ghostly logo. Just visit our Ghostly Gear store right on ghostlypodcast.com to order your t-shirt, hoodie, mug, mask, whatever.
Okay. I think we got it. They just need to visit ghostlypodcast.com and click on Ghostly Gear to order right on the website and send us any ideas that you have for new merch.
Exactly. Order your merch today and send us a pic of you in your ghostly gear. All right, we're back.
We're back.
Okay, so this is going to be a really weird debate because, I mean, I think you kind of have to prove that it's ghost and not just any paranormal activity.
I don't know about that. I mean, to me, I think the question is there paranormal activity happening at this ranch? And I guess the question is, what do you consider paranormal activity?
What do you consider paranormal activity,
So,
Rebecca?
I mean, paranormal.
I consider nothing to be paranormal activity. So
I guess that, so things that maybe don't have a clear explanation that we understand, they're kind of
Are
out of the
UFOs?
normal.
UFOs paranormal?
Some people would consider them.
But I'm asking you what you consider.
What
because
I
this
consider
this
them.
depends upon the debate. Right?
Yeah, I don't know if I would consider UFOs paranormal. I mean, again, some people would. Again, we're just,
Okay.
the attorneys. But so for me, I guess if there really is, okay, let's say this. If it truly is like a sentient beings from another planet that are here on an aircraft of some sort that they have made, then that's real. That's tangible, and that is a thing that I would say is maybe, I guess you could say, not paranormal, should we prove their existence. But then, like Jack was talking about it being energy,
Yeah.
right? That like can change or something, and maybe it's from another
But what
dimension
does Jack know?
or a parallel universe.
What does Jack know?
Well, Jack doesn't know. We don't know.
No, he knows everything. That man knows everything. Seriously.
But that to me would be more paranormal.
Okay, but we have to continue defining this. So what about cryptids?
I think they fall under paranormal because they're kind of outside of our normal
I disagree.
world.
So this is going to be a really hard debate.
Okay,
for
well,
us
that's
all,
okay. We
so-
don't have to agree, right?
Okay.
Isn't that kind of our thing that we don't
Yeah, but I
always...
want to be able to debate on the same terms, though.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so what did Jack call this? Like
High strangeness.
High strangeness. So when it comes to high strangeness, this is going to be different because there's going to be some pieces of evidence where you might be the believer.
All right. Well, we'll see. So let's get into it.
Okay, here we go. So piece of evidence number 1, we're going to start, because this is Skinwalker Ranch, we're going to start with Skinwalker sightings.
Okay.
Right? So seeing a wolf-like creature, some sort of creature, right?
Yes.
And we're going to talk about a specific instance with Tom Gorman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jack mentioned Gormans. I do believe they were farmers on the ranch. They didn't own it, but they were there. So it attacked one of his cows, he says, and he shot it 3 times at close range with a .357 Magnum pistol.
Mm-hmm.
The animal wasn't wounded and remained completely calm, even when Tom followed up with a few rounds from his U.S. Army-issued Springfield rifle. Even more strangely, when Tom and his sons tried to track the huge beast, it disappeared, with its tracks in the soft ground coming to an unexplained end. That is just one story, similar things.
So, even if it was a dire wolf, a .357 Magnum is not going to be nothing to it. And actually, it did respond. It coiled at one of the shots. So there was something, but it would have deterred, even a dire wolf. I would imagine. I don't know what a dire wolf would have done because there aren't any. But I mean, I would imagine it would have.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a bear. Like, let's just say it's like a bear size.
Okay. Yeah.
And a bear would not just be like, that was nothing for a .357 Magnum.
Yeah.
And I don't know what size the U.S. Army issue Springfield rifle is. It could be a .22, and which is like a BB gun almost, but I'm assuming it's not.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go a different route with this one, is that there is a lot of video cameras hooked up around the place. And there was when the Shermans were there as well. It wasn't just a Bigelow thing. I believe the Shermans had video cameras, and they didn't catch any of this on video at all.
Yeah, I don't know back in the 90s if how easy it would have been to have them all around the ranch. They probably had them by their house. Something like that. I don't know, though. But we did get now, I know we're talking about this instance, but on the show, they did get grainy video of something attacking some animals.
But in no way did it look like it was a dire wolf. A dire wolf is like 5 times the size of a normal wolf, and wolves are big.
Well, supposedly, these are big.
Yeah.
These whatever these animals are, these skinwalker animals.
But I'm thinking that he saw a wolf, a regular wolf, not a dire wolf. And I don't know how close of range, like when they say in the show, I don't know how true that is because I'm not hearing it from the Gormans. I'm hearing it, second, third, fourth hand, so I don't know how true that is. I'm going to say I'm believing that it was a wolf. I'm believing that it wasn't as close a range as what they're saying, and that some of the shots missed. And when they finally did get a shot in, it responded as it should. It left.
Yeah, to me, I am going to. I am not. I don't want to dismiss it, but I don't find the Skinwalker evidence as convincing.
Yeah.
As some other things.
And also the Skinwalker idea is a legend.
Mm-hmm.
There is no proof to back this up.
Not at all.
There's nobody alive now that was alive then that can, so I don't know. So, I would love to believe the story. It sounds credible, right? It does, but I don't know for sure if there was a curse put on. And also, I don't believe in curses like that. I believe curses exist because you believe that they exist. Like if you think there's going to be a bad day, if you wake up in the morning and you stub your toe, you're like, man, this is going to be the worst day ever. it's going to be pretty bad because you put that idea into yourself. It's like The Secret, right?
So you think that you believe in the power of the mind and that we can manifest magic, right? With the
to a very small degree. To a very like as far as your luck goes, yes, I believe that can interfere with it because there's a lot of things that can interfere with luck.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm going to have to go really small on this one because what I have decided I'm going to do is when you say something, I'm going to say, is this something out of our normal means, our normal existence that could happen?
Right. Like, yeah.
Yeah, there are wolves in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
That is possible.
Yep.
Can there be a really big one? Yeah, there could be a really big one. Some of the alpha ones get to be pretty darn big.
Mm-hmm.
But do I think it was a dire wolf? No. Do I think that he really made contact with his rounds of ammunition? No. Except for the one shot at the end.
Okay, which, yeah, in this particular instance of that story, it didn't have that. But I will say, by the way, if any of you don't know when Pat talks about dire wolves, what that is, because you didn't watch Game of Thrones, you can Google that.
It's not just Game of Thrones.
Okay, play your D&D or whatever it is that have those in it. I don't know.
Dire wolves actually existed at one point.
Oh, okay.
It's an extinct animal.
Okay, I had not heard that, but I will trust you on that. And I'm sure the listeners will share
almost positive
many stories about that.
Yeah.
But I want to say, so what's your rating? I'm sorry. What number did you?
I'm going to go 1 on this one.
1. Okay.
Yeah, I want to go 0, but there's so then we get to the end of it. Tom and his son. So this is his son with him now. I don't know when his son entered the picture. Did the son see this shot? Did the son see all this? Or was it just Tom Gorman by himself? That would change things a little bit for me. But also, so they try to track him and the tracks disappear. That is possible, right? I mean, it is possible for an animal not to leave any tracks, especially, there's a lot of grass over there. If it went into a high grass area, I don't imagine that they mow the place very often.
Well, I don't think they would, when they say unexplained end, my guess is that there wasn't an obvious reason why the tracks would end.
But we're talking about so many different variables here that there's no video of it. There's no pictures of this. There's only word of mouth. And from the beginning of the story, it sounds like only one person actually saw this wolf.
I think in some versions of the story, the sons were with him. I don't know how old they were though, or what that means. But
again,
exactly.
I can't collaborate that.
So for me, I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
But I'm tempted to give it a 3. I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to go 4 just because I know, again, as we get into this, I pick a specific story because that gives us something specific to talk about. But there are many, many, many others, including one on the show that we did hear about. But I agree with you that it could just be a wolf, like a really big wolf that people are seeing. And maybe the wolves there are a little bolder just because there's not a lot of people around there, or they've just gotten that way. And again, we're not at this point, by the way, animal mutilations are coming up later. That is a different thing. We are not talking about that. We are talking about they are attacking animals, but not killing them necessarily even.
Right. I think it wanted to kill it.
Probably. And then they get disturbed, But that's why to me, I think you're right. There is way too much of a reasonable, rational thing that could be. I just give it a little bit higher because there are a lot of these stories from over the years.
Let me just say that when Rebecca gives it a 4 or 5, that is like the equivalent of my 0. Because she has a different way of scoring this than I do. We're not scoring on the same thing.
Right.
So you're saying 5 means could be, might not be.
Right. And I'm giving
4 is highly unlikely that this is true.
Well, and when Pat gives something a 1 or a 2, that's like a 10.
No, it's not a 10.
All right. So let's go ahead to number 2 here. So here we go. The Big Kahuna UFO sightings.
They saw the Big Kahuna?
This is big. So UFOs, ufology, right? Okay.
Yes.
Brandon Fugel, right, the current owner, says, 6 months into our investigation, I had an experience while entertaining a visiting dignitary in his security detail that involved an undeniable sighting of what can only be described as a 40 to 50 foot long, silver, grayish, disc-like object that performed maneuvers that were stunning and defied conventional explanation. Fugel stressed that this sighting was in broad daylight and included several witnesses. He says after the sighting, they continued to experience paranormal phenomena. So he calls it paranormal to see this UFO.
Yeah, I do not believe it's paranormal in a sense. I believe it's inside the realms of science that it could be, because scientifically we have to say, what are the chances that there are life outside of Earth?
Oh, I think it's for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, so we have to assume that it could be true. I mean, and that maybe they could be here. That would explain a lot of things like the radiation and stuff like that. I don't think it's a wormhole or a gateway or anything like that. When there's a UFO, they travel great distances in short time span. I mean, for us to get to Mars, it would be like the lifetime of a person. So you have to be able to travel at higher speeds, higher velocity. And I believe it's some kind of radiation. That's what it seems to be to me. Now, this particular incident, seeing the pictures of it, I do not believe this one to be a genuine UFO. It is not one of them. Okay, so like I mentioned with the interview with Jack, isn't it weird to you that as we've modernized, these UFOs have modernized? So like in the 70s, think of what a 70s, UFO looks like. It looked like the top of a kettle, where it has like the glass top on the thing and it's like a disc shape like that. But as we've modernized, these things have also modernized. Isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. And as I said, they travel great distances to get here, if they are here, right? Mm-hmm. Where could they modernize? Did they pull stuff from the Earth to make them more modern? How would they be able to enhance their vehicle then? So wouldn't it always look like the one in the 70s?
I don't know. I mean, the ones in like the 50s were like the discs, I think. And I think there was some science fiction writers that maybe drew them that way, then kind of that gets into your consciousness. So if you do see some weird object in the sky, you don't know what it is, your mind maybe kind of paints that picture for you, versus now we have like the tic tac whatever UAP, right?
Yeah. So that's another thing I was going to talk about here is that, so in the show, they show those pictures. Now, the ones of this one, the cigar shaped one, I don't believe that one to be an actual UFO. It just looks a little strange to me. I did not analyze the photos because I don't have copies of the photos that he actually took. I think it was actually a video that they made an image out of. Which can cause some issues and stuff. I don't want to say that they made it up or anything like that. I don't know what it is. I just don't believe that that's what it... I don't believe that that's... Because there's several different types of UFOs, right?
Yep, and the scar-shaped one is a common sighting.
It is a common one, and I just never really... It doesn't really hold any credence with me.
Okay.
Now, there were other ones in there. There was one that was like a white ball. Mm-hmm. That one, surprisingly, looks like the weather balloon that they lost a couple days prior to that.
And now, and by the way, he's talking about on the Skinwalker Ranch TV show, The Secrets of Skinwalker
Ranch, yeah. So that one, I believe, is probably like the weather balloon or something like that. Maybe another weather balloon that somebody else was doing an experiment with and got away from them. I don't know.
Also possible.
the third one, the
Okay.
dark one,
Okay.
the one that looks like the Tic Tac.
Yeah.
That one I have more trouble with because they do weird things. Like they didn't do it with this particular picture, but the Tic Tac one, they've analyzed it in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
They've looked at it through like ultraviolet and different kinds of, things. And there's like a weird heat signature around it. So that one I would believe more. Now, I don't believe it's as fast as what they're saying, because the picture kind of looks like it was zoomed in or zoomed out when it was moved. So I don't even know if it moved at all. Mm-hmm. But that is the shape that I would buy more into. Okay. Yeah. It looks like something that's not from the earth. Okay. Whereas that cigar shape one looks like something we could build here, and somehow get it off the ground. I don't know. Maybe it's some huge drone or something like that.
I gotcha.
But the other one doesn't look like something that we could create. Okay. It almost looks like a top, Yeah. It's black and it looks like a top in that it has the top of it, and then it has like a slim section in the middle, and it has like a stem almost. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for this particular one, I'm going to have to go pretty low because I don't believe in the cigar shape one.
Okay, but let's just say though, what about UFO sight? I gave this as just an example, but like we need to talk about like UFO sightings at Skinwalker Ranch. Like, do you believe there have been UFO sightings at Skinwalker Ranch?
I do believe in UFOs. I do believe that there is a possibility that they're here. Where I run into problems is when I try to think of why. Why would they be over this ranch in the middle of Utah? It just doesn't make sense.
Well,
what's there?
So I know we focus a lot on the ranch, but the whole basin for 30 years, whatever, this is me being the old person. It's this. The 70s was more than 30 years ago, Rebecca. But for whatever number of years, there have been sightings. Like there was like a middle school teacher back in the 70s that saw a UFO again in that area. So it really isn't just the ranch. Like it is that whole area is like known for UFO
but
sightings.
Still, why? Why there?
I don't know. Maybe there's energy there that they need. Okay. I have no idea. I don't believe any of this. So I'm just trying to help.
But that's where I come into problems, is when I try to think of the why. Uh-huh. Also, the Myers family that were there for 60 years that didn't have the ranch named after them, which really bothers me, that the Shermans were there the least amount of time and they named it after themselves. The Myers family never had anything happen.
Now, you say that, but I did read that they did tell the Shermans that they saw things, and that even like there's like
Who said this? The Shermans or the Myers?
Actually, that particular piece, Brandon said that he heard that they told the Shermans.
But again, it is
a little bit. But then there was a commenter on that post that said, now again, a little bit of hearsay, but that from the area, that people in the area would say that Edith Myers would absolutely tell people like, oh yeah, like this weird thing happened. They just didn't make it public.
Okay, well,
but I don't know. Again, it's a bit of hearsay.
There 60 years though, and if there
they
was that
did, they
much
must have liked
there,
it, no matter what.
So I'm gonna have to go low on this one. But if you are asking me if I believe that, so you're not just asking me if UFOs are possible, because we already know I'm a believer in that.
Right. No, we're saying at this ranch. Okay,
at this particular location, is it possible that UFOs visit there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have to go, and I am doing some math here because I'm taking into account that I've heard that the Myers never had an experience. So I'm taking that into account.
Absolutely.
I'm also taking it into account that this is on the frickin' History Channel. And the History Channel used to be about history, remember?
It used to be, yeah.
Like, used to be World War II documentaries and stuff.
Sure.
No, there's none of that stuff there anymore. So it's on the History Channel. So I'm taking that into account too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have a number.
You have a number in mind. Okay.
You willing to guess?
I'm going to say 3.
Nope.
4.
5.
I wasn't ready for
I'm
that,
going
listeners.
5.
I wasn't ready for that, listeners. Oh my God, that's like a 20.
No, it's not a 20.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
The UFOs, but so also,
I'm
do
going to
not
get to talk
consider
at
that-
some point, I promise.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I need to make I need to, like, I gave you a chance to speak about this, but
Yes.
I want to make sure that I explain myself fully for this.
You're given a 5, so you need to offer some explanation, I think. Yes.
So yes, I'm going to give this a 5, but I also do not consider that paranormal activity.
Okay.
So
Yep.
as far as the debate goes,
Gotcha.
I'm giving that a 0.
Like your overall rating for the we don't know where we're going to be at with that, but you will not be putting this will not be taken into account when you answer the question.
Yeah.
Do you think there's paranormal activity at the ranch?
Yeah,
this will not factor into
because
that.
to me this isn't paranormal. This is, can this happen within our rules of science? It really pushes the rules of science, but yes, it can.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
I mean, wouldn't you agree that yes, it can?
I mean, okay, I'm going to say yes, it can, but I feel like this is a far less probability than a wolf being like a thick creature. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, again, UFOs, like, okay, theoretically, yes, I do believe there's probably life out there, and there could even be intelligent life out there. That's, I think, very possible. However, I am not sure about them having been to Earth, like that they come here, that we would not know that. I mean, like a lot of these stories sound credible until you really dig into them, and then sometimes they kind of fall apart. Now, do I think it's possible that, again, there is some sort of weird ball of energy that might show up that kind of looks like it's something? And again, this is, by the way, I am accepting the official unidentified aerial phenomenon TikTok video, because that one is really weird. I just don't think we know yet what happened there. So again, I am not.
Did you say TikTok video?
TikTok.
Oh, okay, I thought you said TikTok.
I
know
do
you
watch
love
a lot of TikTok, but
is it a Bones Day?
It was a Bones Day today. He's
Okay.
at grandma's.
Okay.
So yes.
Sorry, go
Bones
ahead.
Day.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so I don't, for this particular piece, where they saw the disc-like object, and some of the other ones that
The
we saw, cigar-shaped one, the balls of light, the ball of dark,
the white ball,
the dark, there's been a blue ball thing there.
Rebecca.
It's a family show. So for me, I'm giving it a 3.
A 3. Okay.
Yeah, it's just not believable too much to me. Like, again, I will allow it's not impossible. I am at my heart a believer, but I am far less a believer when it comes to UFOs.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We need to move on. So we are going to animal mutilations.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on to animal mutilations. So in an interview with Bigelow, he claimed that his researchers saw/found cattle mutilations pretty frequently. One had like the eye removed that faces the sky, which is a very common cattle mutilation that's seen around the world. Sometimes they were drained of blood, and they described them as having like a very surgical manner, the way they would cut the animals.
Okay, so because we have to make this fast, I'm going to try to go as fast as possible because we're already pushing over 2 hours here. So I'm going to say that, yes, there was mutilations, not arguing that. There's been mutilations all over the world. It is a weird phenomenon that happens. And yes, some of them look like they're surgically cut. But we cannot prove that this is anything paranormal. So it could be within the realms of science. it could, the no blood. I had a rabbit die outside my house. It was cut in half and there was absolutely no blood.
Wow.
So, but do I believe that was like a ghost that did it? No. So
I think in general people think it's aliens that are doing the animal mutilations,
maybe
like taking parts for whatever
experimentation or something. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't think that that's paranormal then.
Okay. I think it's paranormal. I don't know what it is, but I will say it's weird that it does happen on ranches or, like more in like farming situations and not in the wild. Like if it was some natural way that predators would kill kill animals, you would think that we would know that. Like we would find them in the wild and we don't. We only find them in certain situations. It's not strong for me. I'm going to give this one a 6. Because I think it's weird. I think it's paranormal. But I'm not like, it's not crazy paranormal for me.
I'm going to have to go 0 on this one. Because I think there's other reasons why it could be happening. And I don't know what it is. But.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. We're going to move on to number 4, hearing voices. So now we're getting into some ghostly stuff. There have been several instances of people saying they hear voices on the ranch, and with skinwalkers in general, I've heard. But here's one with Tom and Melissa Winterton. They are the current caretakers of the ranch. Winterton was asked to go to the command center, which is where all the computers are, and make backup of the videos taken that night with an external hard drive. As Winterton began the backup, he and his wife heard a banging sound coming from one of the back bedrooms. It sounded like someone had an electrical cord and they were smacking it against the wall. So I jump up and run back there. Nobody was in there. I've spent a ton of time in the command center. I know the usual sounds that it makes and what the water heater sounds like when it turns on. This was different, Winterton says. So we are freaking out at this point. I sit down back at the computer and the download is taking forever. Then all of a sudden, like someone was standing between us, I hear, "Leave now." I look at Melissa, she looks at me, and then it happened again. "You need to leave now." That's my ghost voice. Tom and Melissa Winterton both jumped up and did as they were told.
Are these the current caretakers?
Yeah, that's if you watch the show, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
those.
They're the ones that heard noises at their house as well.
Right, yes.
That was maybe proved not to be. I don't know.
I don't know.
So it's the boy that cries wolf kind of thing. They're saying that they hear voices everywhere, it seems. And they hear knocking and they hear, footsteps and they hear all this stuff. So at some point, why are they hearing this and nobody else hears this?
Well, it's not that nobody else does, but
yeah, but they spend the least amount of time in the command center.
True.
Dragon spends a lot of time in there. The other weird guy with the magnet spends a lot of time there. So I would say that I don't know if they know what they're doing in that room, and I think that there's got to be some explanation. I'm not there to hear it. I can't play a video or audio tape or anything like that to be able to hear that, to figure out what the sound can be. So I can't really debate that.
Well, it's tricky. I did watch a video where someone claimed a skinwalker was talking to them, but it's a video where you have to question, like, did someone just insert that audio? So even a video doesn't necessarily, I think, help with that.
No, but it gives me something to be able to, like, maybe it sounds like a car engine or something when it says "leave now." I don't know.
I gotcha. That makes sense.
I have no idea where to go with that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how clear it was. Was it "leave now"? Mm-hmm. Or was it, it's like, so those are two different things to me to be able to argue with different ways.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So,
yeah. And I will also just mention that Mr. Sherman Terry Sherman claimed at the end that he was starting to hear voices and that's why they sold it.
Okay.
So what's your rating?
I'm going to have to go 1 on this one because I can't, I don't have anything to go on to be able to argue anything more. So.
Gotcha. I am going to give this one a 5.
Okay.
Again, I think it's possible, but I also feel like there's a lot of energy and different things going on there that could be making people think they hear things that they don't, though there were 2 of them And they both claim to hear it, though they are married, so they could just be backing each other
To
up.
become one.
Yes. I don't know if they're married. I think they are. Yeah, they have the same last name.
They
So
living
we're
in
going to say.
sin, Rebecca?
I think it's no, I don't think it's. I think they are. All right, here we go. Last one. I wasn't going to include 5, but I had to when I found this. Poltergeist activity, which is also a big claim at the ranch. Dragon Arnold spoke to a Vice reporter and shared a paranormal experience he had. He said, nothing at first, meaning he didn't experience anything. I thought it was all a bunch of, crap. We'll say that. Then one night, I'm in one of the bedrooms in the ranch house. I'm lying down trying to get sleep. And then all of a sudden, bam, something slams into my bed. It's like when your kids jump into bed with you or someone big need the bed. I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll go with it. I sit up and turn on the lights and nothing's there. So we've had listeners with similar stories.
Yes, but for this one, that is in the house where they found the extra room and they proved that there were vibrations because of that extra room. That is the ranch house.
That's the ranch house? Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
that is that particular area.
It is, yeah.
So either one, they are saying that didn't prove anything, the vibrations, or this happened before that, maybe, and now he's just talking about it. Yeah, that would be freaky though, right? I mean, you're in bed and bam, something hits the bed, it shakes the bed. But those can all be vibrations too. That could be a small earthquake too. That could be a bunch of things that can happen. They have a lot of cattle on the land. If cattle runs by, that can cause those vibrations too.
Yeah. So what's your rating, you think?
I'm going to have to go 0 on this one.
0 on this one. I'm actually giving it a 4.
Okay.
I mean, people talk about poltergeist activity, but it's mostly at that house. And like I said, we did find some explanations. And I will say, when it's like so you say like you woke up and you felt like something hit the bed. Honestly, that can be in a dream.
Yeah.
Like you can have haven't you ever had that experience?
Oh, yeah.
So to me, it's different than when people say something sat on their bed and they felt that. Like that's different than just something hitting your bed. So I don't think it's not super credible to me.
All right. So what would be your overall rating then?
Okay. So I am trying to do the math on this one. I am gonna go a 5. Which is really low for me, but I had a lot of low scores.
Okay.
How about for you?
I'm going to go 1. 1 for everything. Because as I said, I don't believe the UFO activity is anything to do with paranormal. Okay. I don't believe the cattle mutilation would be paranormal. It is weird. It is strange. It is creepy. It is bad. I mean, there's a lot of other names I could give it, but I cannot say it's paranormal. I don't know if it's ghost related, though.
Yeah. I mean, so again, I think that's the question. A lot of people would call, UFOs, aliens, cryptids paranormal. But if you don't call it that, then
I think
it's not.
I think that they are ish. But also, I think we have a different definition here on ghostly because of the subject matter that we've talked about.
Right.
And because of that, I'm relating it to ghost pretty much because can there be a Loch Ness? Is that feasibly possible? It is highly, highly, highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Is there a small smidgen that if they found it, I would be like, okay, that makes sense? Maybe. I don't know. But still, I'm just saying, like the cryptids,
right?
The idea of that, some of them are so like outlandish that I can't believe them.
Sure.
But other ones, I'm like, if they did discover a Bigfoot, I mean, I would be a little bit surprised, but it wouldn't be like life-shattering to me to, like I don't think that there's Bigfoots. But they find new animals all the time. Yeah. Right. So I don't know.
I get what you're saying. I do.
Like if they were like, we now have proof of ghost. Here's the proof. That would be life shattering to me at this moment.
Sure.
That would change my way of thinking. If they found a Bigfoot, would that change my way of thinking? No. Now they're starting to come out with UFO stuff and the credibility is going a lot higher. Does that change my life at all? No, not at all. It's totally fine. It's totally within that. So that's what I'm basing the paranormal idea for ghostly on.
No, I think it's a fair way of looking at it, just as far as what we look at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to the closing arguments. This is our last chance to convince you to vote our way. We are each given 1 minute of uninterrupted time. We will time each other on our cell phones because Rebecca likes to fib.
Hey.
Are you ready, Rebecca?
Yes.
All right, and begin.
Okay, so Skinwalker Ranch is a weird place with a lot of weird stuff that's happening. I believe when they show their meters that are showing weird energy, and I believe that people have seen weird things, weird stuff with cattle and other animals, and that there's odd noises and people see things. But I don't know. My thought for that ranch is that there was nuclear testing somewhere nearby, or somebody did something weird. And that's maybe why we don't see too many things before like the 70s, right? Or maybe there's a natural deposit of some things. Maybe there's some materials and just the way they all put together. But it's weird, but I don't know if it's paranormal or ghostly.
All right. You had like 2 seconds left.
I did. I just want to say, like, that's why I do a 5. Because is it weird? Yes. I don't know that it's paranormal.
I got you. Okay.
All right. You ready?
I am ready. Yes.
Okay. And go.
So, yes. Do I believe it's a place of high strangeness, as Jack said? There is a lot of weirdness. So that to me is high strangeness.
Yes.
Right. But do I consider it paranormal? I don't necessarily consider it paranormal. I think that there's a lot of things we can't explain. We don't have the right tools. We don't have the right science yet to explain it. But I can rest assured that there is a explanation for most of these things that have occurred. We just don't know it yet. Also, too, you have to remember in one of the Skinwalker episodes, The Secret of Skinwalker, they did talk about radiation being in there. Radiation can cause hallucinations. Hallucinations can be the shadow people that they kind of see, or some of these paranormal activities. So I do not give it any credit at all.
Okay, just made that. Yeah, and I believe the scientist that has been on the show too, your answer is what he would say. We just don't have the science yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's okay not to have the science. It doesn't mean it's necessarily paranormal.
Yeah.
Especially through Ghostly's definition of paranormal. When we do stuff, I think it has to do with some kind of ghostly presence, some kind of life that has lived on, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I haven't really seen any stories about that.
Yeah. That's just my opinion about it, and you guys can say what you will about it. Yes, I do believe, like Bob always says, that we're all part of the same bowling team, like the ufologist and the cryptologist and all those people. We're all in the same bowling league, but we wear different shirts.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm going by Ghostly definition because we're on Ghostly right now.
Absolutely. And please, please, please let us know what you think. Send us a contact form, vote, put a comment on your vote.
Where do they vote?
On ghostlypodcast.com.
And then
go to polls.
Yeah. It's right there.
It's right there. Or join us on Facebook or Instagram and comment, DM us.
I would love to have this discussion to go forward with. By the way, I was on an episode of Bob After Dark where we talk about UFOs, and you might want to listen to that because I came out as a strong believer in some of the stuff that was said.
It's topsy-turvy world.
Right? Yeah. So I want to thank you so much for listening. Please share us with your friends and family, as word of mouth is our best advertisement. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Now it's going to be more important than ever because as we've previously discussed, we will be taking December off. We're going to spend some time with our families. We're going to regroup and figure out what episodes we want to do with Ghostly, what direction we want to take. It's going to be the same direction.
but with more.
Yeah. But we also want to do some strategic planning. You know, we've been doing this for 3 years now. It's time.
It's time.
It's time we start to actually figure out what this is and where we can go.
So small break, but we are coming back so strong. Be ready for so much more. Very exciting. But definitely come see us at C2E2 if you're in the area on the 12th. And if you're in the area, come see Nightshade. Ghostly Presents Nightshade on December 16th.
An evening with Nightshade.
An evening with Nightshade. It's going to be fun.
There's a Facebook event for
There
that.
is.
You can find that in our group, or you can find that on the page itself. Ghostly will return with a brand new episode. We just don't know what it is. On Wednesday, January 5th.
We'll see you then.
Stay ghostly.
Bye.